Okay, so I don't want to speak too soon. Not the fact that the sound's now working, for those that aren't aware, and it's been deleted now on some platforms and will be deleted later on probably on others. When we tried this broadcast at 11 minutes past 11 p.m. local time here in England, something went terribly wrong. Yeah, I know for sure that I switched the sound on. I had to switch something from being over there to over there effectively. And that was bizarre because it had been switched. And then when I checked, because the sound didn't appear to be working, well, it looked like it was working. Literally meters were going up and down, but I couldn't hear the sound out the speakers. So I switched it to what it shouldn't be and then back again to where it was and should have been. And it started working. So we started it again 11 minutes later, 22 minutes past 11 p.m. local time here in England. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Thank you for your support. Whichever platform you're watching on, what you're watching on these days, I have no idea. If you have any ideas there, all of the comments have started. Oh goodness me. And your squeaky chair, that was from earlier on, wasn't it, Brynda, on the broadcast that didn't go. Yes, sound clip, what? Screen record on a safety touch button, always on top. What? Sounds good now. Of course it does. Thank you. And thank you also for those comments there from Periscope, from YouTube, and who knows, someone might join us shortly on Facebook as well to confirm that it is working. But you know what? We'll hold that thought, because who knows what's going to happen with the technology. There's so many things to go wrong at the moment. Usually one at least does. I'm not sure. Oh, we are on, I think we're on Mixer. Mixer wasn't working 100% earlier. Can't keep up with all this stuff not working. Mixer.com and Twitch.tv, I think we're there too. Certainly on YouTube, on Periscope, on Twitter therefore, and on Facebook Live. If you want to know where I am, just martinshine.com. That's me. You know that by now, don't you? And if you don't, why don't you? But you just go to it's myname.com/whatever platform you're trying to get to, i.e. martinshine.com/Facebook, and that will take you to where we are live right now on Facebook. Unless of course you're the one there, right there, who I'm speaking to now, and you're watching the replay, in which case if you're watching the replay, then well, who knows, there's lots of variables there. I mean, it could be a different time of the year, day, month, and who knows. Yeah, but it's certainly one thing for sure. If you're watching the replay, you're watching at some point in the future. So welcome, future, and welcome to everyone else as well as we continue. Martin says, is this Poppin 364000352? Shouldn't give your phone number out on here. I do keep telling people, but welcome anyway. Just tried to see if I can be seen on Berry before I cross over, says Brynda. Yeah, don't worry, Brynda, don't worry. We know you're there. Everyone knows Brynda's there. It's even in the Ohio Gazette as well, I think, at the moment. The Buckeye State there in the United States of America. Yes, she sticks, I'm sure she sticks an ad in there just to make sure everyone's aware that that is where Brynda Tupper resides. Oh, yes. Gang, says Poppin. Hi, Gandhi. Could that be a Japandi? Maybe Gandhi Japandi is with us, and if so, it looks like we're going to see your comments here. The trouble is as well, because the technology has been a little unreliable recently, I'll be looking on here right now, and so far the chat is working good. And then suddenly, you know, I might not receive any other updates, and I'll be thinking, is that because there's no other comments been sent from that particular platform? The person's disappeared, fallen asleep. Understandable with these broadcasts. Oh, maybe the technology's not working. It's stopped mid-broadcast. He just wouldn't know. But anyway, we're trying to keep on top of things here when it comes to all things technical. I'm your biggest fan. Are you really? No, I think you'll find that that's my biggest fan. The one on the ceiling that you can't see. Is that what it is? It's interesting, by the way. A lot of homes in the United States of America, speaking of fans, thank you for the topic, by the way. I'm sure, well, it was an indirect suggestion, and we're going to go with that one. Most homes that I've been in the United States of America, they have, sort of like by default, by design, have a fan on the ceiling. And also, it's unusual in the UK, that's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, it's unusual not to have, when you walk into a room, a light, a lamp, hanging from the ceiling, from a rose, a ceiling rose, usually in the middle of the room, but often just sort of towards one end maybe. But it's unusual not to have one. Certainly in the year 2019 and for the last 2, 3, 4 decades. But if you're in an abode in the United States of America, it's not unusual there to have, when it comes to lighting, anything but a centre light in the room. And often people rely on uplights that just stand on the floor, pointing up and bouncing off the ceiling and the walls. Am I right about that, Miss Brenda Tupper? It's a conversation I haven't really had before with people while I've visited, and for that matter, when I haven't been there and we're communicating sort of remotely like this. Martin, I'm making a pumpkin cheesecake. Are you really? Interesting. A pumpkin cheesecake, not to be confused with a cheesecake pumpkin. I wonder what it's going to turn out to really look like, Brenda. Which one of the two? Why is that, says Poppin. What with the light? That's what I want to know. I want to know, why is it homes are designed in the United States of America, generally speaking, without the centre lamp? You know, if you're in an average apartment or house over there, if it's a mansion, probably a different thing. In the White House, for example, you know, what's going on here? Oh goodness me, we don't want to be interrupted. I know what it is. I didn't close one of the apps on this digital device, and I was receiving a notification that I'd received a message. Isn't that strange? You receive notifications about a message, then soon I suppose we'll be having notifications to let us know that there's a notification just been received about a notification that's telling you about an email. Where does it stop? Yes, not to be confused, says Brenda. True, we all have ceiling fans. Yeah, that's what I thought. And obviously I realise, the climate is somewhat different. You have more humidity across the United States of America than we generally do here over here in this part of Europe, that's for sure. Hey, have we got anyone still on YouTube right now? Has everyone defected back? This is interesting, because it's sort of one broadcast, everyone's on Periscope having a good old chinwagon chat, and then gradually the next one, a few people head over to YouTube, and then the broadcast after that, everyone is now on YouTube. And then, before you know it, a couple of days after that, we find out that people are now, look at this, look, back on Periscope apparently. But as long as you're enjoying it, that's the main thing. Everyone is hot here, that's why, says Brenda. Really? Well, I guess you are, but it's fast getting chilly there now, certainly in the northeast of the North American continent, because winter, I think you know what? I think winter is suddenly going to turn to winter rather rapidly, and I think it's going to be a cold one this year, like it was, like sort of 11 months ago or so, the previous winter. But we shall see. Watch that space is what I say. Certainly here in England, I mean, we've had some great weather. I think this has actually been a good year for good weather, and I mentioned this to someone just today, and they're like, "Really? You think so?" That because it's easy to forget. I mean, we had a glorious day, even though it's September. Had a glorious day Saturday, 2 days ago, at the time of this broadcast taking place, and then the day after, yesterday, it was a very damp and wet day all day and cloudy, totally, cloud-covered sky. And today, Monday, well, it's been a bit damp here. Certainly in the evening it was. But in the daytime, it was a lovely sunny day. There you go. Scuba, sorry. Hey, hang on, Scuba. What's going on? Hang on, wait a minute. Brenda still says, are you talking to yourself there on Periscope, Brenda? Because there's a lot of Brenda. And I think everyone else has been silent. Have you silenced people? Have you pressed that silence button again? The mute button on everyone? Hope not. So why are you all without central air in your homes? Central air. Why are we all with that? I think, do you mean air conditioning, AC, Brenda Tupper? Is that what you mean? Skibber is here. Scuba, sorry. What? Now, yeah, okay, fine. Well, there's some people that aren't here, and I'm going to come to those actual people in a moment, speaking of things that are here and not. I think you meant AC, air conditioning, because the average home in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland does not have built-in air conditioning. However, you do over there across the Atlantic Ocean. However, when it comes to heating, I would suggest that most homes these days actually have central heating. Oh yes, whether it's gas and radiators, or whether it's it used to be well, the electric heating where it's air ducts, and yeah, I think that's less popular these days. I think because of the efficiency is not as good as other systems. Hello, just tell me to be quiet. I can be a little too chatty. I think you need a few more O's on that word there, Brenda. Why are UK's homes so old? Well, that's because we've been around a bit longer here before obviously the New World was discovered. I would suggest, and that's why. Yeah, so the United States of America, that continent, has not been inhabited for as long as Europe has, quite simply. And hopefully that's answered your question. But yeah, go check out a bit more on the history, Christopher Columbus and all, and the Boston Tea Party. Is that where it all stems from? Something like that. What says Brenda? Pardon, Brenda, please remember where you are now. You're not on any old broadcast, let me tell you. Right, now then, heaven knows where Mary is these days. Mary of London. She hasn't made us. JJ Crawl could be hiding there in the background. And who else? Patty and Elliot in Wisconsin. And everyone else. Beaver Dwarf, Rose, and Claire Guppy, and Adam Roberts, and everyone else. Yeah, they must be watching the replays and just getting a bit more shut-eye. That's obviously what you're doing out there, people. I say they, you, because I'm sure you're watching the replay. Hey, what about Kath in Bournemouth? How you doing? Got to say hello. You should be joining us on one of the live broadcasts, really, Kath. Oh, absolutely. Certainly from that wonderful place there that is the south coast of England, and getting involved with the community. Why not? And she loves watching the replays. Hey says hey. Ace of Spades 11. Hey, yes. I think you'll find that that's the letter. Oh, maybe it is an A. I thought for a moment you thought I was a horse, and in which case it should have been an E, because I was going to say horses eat that. No, yeah, whichever way round it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, I know what I mean. Not only is my tongue tied right now, almost ish. My mind certainly is tired. It's been a very long day. I'll tell you something, really productive day, everyone, with the technology. Oh, yes, absolutely. 100% productive. Moving forward with getting all the bits and pieces sorted out when we move forward with our live streaming and stuff like that, let me tell you. Yeah. For those that are new here, don't forget that is me. Don't forget to follow whichever platform you're on. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. And also you can, if you follow, particularly on Periscope, then when we go live and I'm out and about, then you'll receive a notification and know that I'm live, and know that you have the option to join me there and then and enjoy whatever it is that we happen to be enjoying. Speaking of which, people, do you suffer from ADHD? Poppin, do you suffer from dyslexia? Oh, no, wait a minute. No, you got it right. I mean, all these different... I mean, isn't it really outrageous that they would choose and use such a word, dyslexia, for people that can't spell? I mean, seriously, as I've said in the past, long time ago, I'll remind people my thoughts on that surely dyslexia should simply be called A. So it makes sense to me. And I would have thought it would make sense to the whole world, my logic there. So instead of having to, remember not just the number of letters in the word, but which order and which one. I mean, seriously, it could be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but dyslexia is almost as bad. But as I say, just A is the first letter, one letter, very simple. So for people that find it difficult to spell words, surely A has got to be the most simple. And therefore, anyway, just or roticism. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? What? Hey, wait, hello, Gandhi Japandi commenting there. Oh, goodness me, Brenda's not going to be happy. You butting in there. Goodness me, there was a monologue by Brenda Tupper for a moment. It's all right, Brenda. It's all good. How much do I have to pay to subscribe on YouTube. You can pay me as much as you like, donate as much as you like, and that's no joke going forward, because sooner rather than later we're going to have to start up the old, well, certainly let you know details of the page where you can support these broadcasts, because they are starting to cost. And at the moment, my pocket doesn't look like a pocket. The hole's so big. There's almost no pocket. There's no pants, no trousers to speak of. The hole is so big when it comes to the pennies just dropping out because of all the technology that's being invested in. It's not just technology and tangible items, you understand. When we're out and about, someone has to ensure that we have a 3 or 4G signal. And of course, now it's 5G. You know, the price doubles. So we will be looking to some viewers and listeners in the future. Well, people that are watching now, at some point in the near future, giving people the option to sponsor and support these broadcasts. And I'm also very mindful of the fact that if people are going to support these broadcasts, while we're on that subject, let me say that we have to give back and pay it forward, as you like to say over there in the North American continent and region. So did I say American? I did. What a mistake, eh? Yes. Sorry, Amerikansky people. Anyhow, moving swiftly on, as I say, we are definitely mindful here of people that sort of invest, which is really what you're doing, and you know, supporting in that way. Well, the future is going to be good for you, because we're going to certainly ensure that there's some sort of return for you. Oh yeah, and not just this chat and babble and communication and community as well. I better catch up with the chat, because it's going very fast at the moment. You're on a lot of social media. That's amazing. How do you do it? Ace of Spades 11. What can I say? Very popular, I guess. But I do it just with the technology that I'm very familiar with and the knowledge that I have. And also my crystal balls. The camera won't point down far enough for you to see right now. But looking to the future, certainly with all things technology, we could use tarot cards as well, but usually the crystal works a bit better, I find. Certainly the vibration. You'd know about that there, wouldn't you? All of you guys and girls, when it comes to crystal. I mean, that's what, yeah, sort of had in watches, analog watches. Yeah, to make them work and ensure that they kept the right time. But anyhow, let's just get through this chat before I lose the plot of the chat. Amazing how you, yes. Well, if you keep watching, by the way, if you keep watching Ace of Spades 11, then you might find out in the future. Not necessarily on these broadcasts, but that sort of techie stuff will be on other broadcasts that will be happening, I think, within the next 4 weeks. It could be in 4 weeks' time, but certainly not longer than another 4 weeks. I think that will be happening. Good to hear you were productive and not out wanting time. How much do you have to pay? We got that one. Wasting. Yes, thank you very much, Brenda. I thought there might have been a typo there. Same with people who have lisps, says Gandhi Japandi. Oh, you're talking about the dyslexia thing and everything like that. Yeah, but I think certainly, yes, absolutely. Yes, true, Poppy's saying as well. Poppin, £10 per month and a handy what? Gandhi Japandi, wow, a bit expensive. Oh dear. Two of us in the chat. It's a bit crowded. Patreon from Martin Shine. Yes, Gandhi Japandi, we possibly will be incorporating a Patreon page. Yeah, that's the next one. Oh yes, it's on standby, but it might be another platform. We will see. All good things to come, let me tell you though. Good to hear that, says Brenda. My daughter is dyslexic, yet she is amazing artist. Is that Sharting or Shirting? Yes, it's you mentioned that, you see. But if people seemingly have what used to be known only as a disability, and these days people don't like using that word, I get that, but at the end of the day, you know, if somebody, one of their bodily functions isn't working in the way that you would expect it to, then it technically, well, it won't necessarily be a disability for them, you understand. But it might be if they needed to drive, for example, and you're born with one arm, therefore one hand, potentially, and so, you know, you're not going to be able to drive a regular car. So that's kind of it's a disability for that person when you look at it, obviously, initially and immediately, in the immediate future, and at that moment in time, but going forward, there are, did I say that? I did, yes, but it was very, very valid, that phrase. So I'll say again, going forward, obviously there are options available, certainly in the year 2019, where we are right now as we broadcast. Again, someone could be watching this in 2035, just saying. So yes, what I was going to say though there on Sharting's comment, people that in one respect you think they might be less fortunate than others, often they are creative people in a different way, but absolutely. And I would also suggest, and Patty's not here at the moment, I mention her because she does remind us from time to time of her ghoulish sixth sense stuff that she gets involved with and her ghost hunting. But people that tend to have an sort of extrasensory perception are also, more often than not, more creative than the average person. I know that firsthand. I don't mean me personally, although that said, people have said to me that yes, actually, you know, you could have that ability to connect with the other side. I don't think they meant Australia either, or New Zealand. How do you manage to go live on so many different social media platforms? No offence taken, says Brenda. No good. Well, I just got the technology and the knowledge, and we put the two together. It's all good stuff though. You like that, do you? So if one goes out the window, you know, somebody sort of hacks into our Periscope account, for example, or even the platform goes down at the time when we want to broadcast, then we can always use another platform, which is why in the future, I'm only going to be suggesting to people that if you want to know where I am right now and where I'm going to be next, yeah, the best place to check will be the website and webpage, martinshine.com or martinshine.live if you're looking for the next live video, because then, interesting, I think, is that my taxi waiting for me out there, possibly? Just been reminded of something else I didn't do. There's so much to do. One thing I didn't do is check the list. Trust me, there is a list of things here that I have to do before we go live. You know, switch this on, turn that off, make sure the light's kind of okay, make sure the camera's framed right, make sure the sound's working properly, make sure the chat's okay. Yeah, I agree. Some of the most creative people have a diagnosis. Listen, let's get this right, Brenda. Again, don't want to keep sort of trying to touche you. That's not the idea here, but just a gentle reminder that actually we all have a diagnosis of some description or another if we really look into our inner selves or allow someone else to. Yeah, no one is 100%. And that's the problem with all this airbrushing in magazines and on TV with your hairstylist and your makeup before everyone goes live. You just want it as it is. Listen, the people that speak to you, and I hasten to add, I never speak to my audience. We speak with one another. You know, I even make a point of when I'm having a conversation with someone, you know, if I want to continue that conversation next week, I wouldn't say to someone, I need to speak to you again next week. I need to speak with you. And I'm very mindful to try to always use that word with, because speaking to someone, Brenda Tupper, is like standing in front of a classroom teaching everyone because you know everything. You know what I mean? Brenda's a teacher, by the way, for those that aren't aware. So, yeah. Gave you a what I see every day with our children at school with autism. They're brilliant. Yes. Gave you what? I have you 350 hearts. You better let me subscribe on YouTube for free. Pop in. Get over there now. You can subscribe for free. And anytime you can pop in for a cup of coffee as well. How about that? Metaphorically, you understand, in here. You never know, one day our paths might cross. Any of us, you know, on our daily lives and routines. Tell you something though, somebody did suggest to me that at some point in the future, we might want to actively arrange a good old meetup. And that's definitely not off the cards. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but just saying, anything's possible. Just remember, I read someone quoted this recently. Can't remember who it was that originally said this, but I've seen the quote a number of times, which is that you are the author, like an author of a book, you're the author of your life. And you can write any chapter in any way, shape or form you so desire. So make sure it's damn good reading. Oh yeah, the martinshine.com thing. What about it, Ace of Spades? When will that be happening? That will be happening as soon as I have a spare moment. And there's a lot going on here, work-wise, sorting out work and the business of live streaming and video production and other things related. This streaming obviously is a part of it, and loads of personal stuff going on. Couple of people are aware about that at the moment, certainly close friends. And when I say a couple, mention that now, I mean people watching that happen to be aware of just how taxing, how demanding things have been for the last, 12 months actually, easily. And yes, I would suggest that all things considered, we're doing rather well. I say we, yeah, us as a community. And yes, sometimes you've got to pat yourself on the back as well. Without any arrogance, you guys and girls, you should be patting yourselves on the back to, well, really sort of just acknowledge where you've reached so far in this mortal existence. You might not be where you want to be, all right? You might not be in the best place, yeah? But just remember, it could always be worse. And if you're not where you want to be, well, in order to reach where you want to be, none of us can do it on our own. Absolutely. Listen, if I was on my own now, I'd be talking to myself in a mirror, and a lot of people would be saying I'm nuts, crazy, whatever you want to say. Yeah, simple. But you see, we've made this happen because we are together, and the community is supporting one another. You see, because without me, there would be no platform bringing us together. Well, the platforms will be there, but they'll be blank, or at least I won't be there, and you wouldn't be, you'd be elsewhere and not together in this community, you see. And in the same way, if you weren't there, as I say, this wouldn't exist. There would be no point. But people do get a little bit of value out of this. There's going to be so much more value going, well, nearly said it, and I don't want to say that, in the future. There we are. And again, that value should start in about 3 or 4 weeks. Mark my words. Oh, yeah. And by the way, people, the reason you want to follow me now on Twitter and Periscope is because I'm going to be appearing who knows where. But for example, if I start sometime in the future featuring on someone else's broadcast, you might not be following that someone else. So how will you know that I'm about to go live in 10 minutes with this other person on their channels and wherever they hang out and broadcast? Well, the answer is I will go live on my own channels, on these channels, at least one of them, particularly Periscope, Twitter, they're the ones to watch. And of course, as I said, martinshine.com when that is up and running. And so if you follow, then you'll receive a notification directly from me if I think that you'd want to be part of what we're doing and have a little nosy on in. And yeah, that's how it's going to work, you see. But keep watching and you'll understand more as it happens. It will just unfold as this is doing now. My daughter is 16, just got an A star on her art drawing based on mental health. So proud. Yeah, now mental health is a very, 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 very big and complex issue. Do you know, everyone's mentally ill as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what anyone tells you. This is what I was alluding to and referring to earlier on when I said that, you know, if you really dig deep inside you, everyone's got some sort of issues, problems, yeah? And it kind of actually frustrated me that the media about a year ago with the royal family here in England, they were sort of, oh, wow, supporting mental health. Why did it take so frigging long? Yeah, why has it been a stigma and something people haven't wanted to speak about? Why have adults been educated to not talk about these things? Why have you been given, people up until now, the view that these things really, you know, they're taboo, and really, you know, it's a problem? Well, yes, it would be a problem, but hang on a minute, if you've got that problem, then you're special. You should be singled out because other people haven't got these problems. Of course they can well have. All right, let's get real here. And I tell you something, once I get on my little pedestal talking about this, you might want to start putting on the filters there when it comes to the F word and that sort of thing, let me tell you, because it just frustrates me that, as I say, it's like this mental health thing, and it's a bit like as well racism, any segregation, anything like that, any prejudice. All right, the problem is as well when people start highlighting, that someone's different or shouldn't be treated different. The Mobos, let's just cut to that one because we mentioned that not so long ago, but the Mobos, music of black origin. Why do we need a frigging music event to highlight how great black music is? Why can't we just have a music event that incorporates everyone and everyone's up for the same prize or prizes and winning the same categories? And put everyone head to head, because the audience will soon tell you whether the overall winner is black, Caucasian, Indian, Japanese, Finnish. Well, I haven't finished yet, but yeah, Scandinavian is what I'm saying, anything like that. And the more we start up these special groups, for people that are suffering from something specific, the more we're trying to help, and focus on that stuff. I get it. But what you're doing indirectly for a lot of people is excluding them from the party, from the chat, because this group is all about autism, for example. So someone else is like, I haven't got time for that. I'm a banker. I work in the city and I haven't got any problems. So let them get on with it. You need to somehow make it attractive to people that don't necessarily suffer from these illnesses or what others would call disabilities and these negative things, and need I say any more? I think I better read some of the comments now. It will happen, already planning it for your house. Hang on a minute, what's older? You are completely right, Martin. Agreed, says Brenda. Right, okay, hang on a second. That was earlier on. Say no more, sir, says Poppin. It will happen. Already planning it for your house. Is that another typo there, Brenda? The Perry community has been such a great support system for me. Yay, says Brenda. I bet they have, Gandhi Japandi, WB. Why Periscope and Twitter? Just because, number one, the question is, why should people follow on Periscope and Twitter? They're the easiest ones for me to sort of just press a button and go live, without too much fidgeting and stuff at the moment with technology. And also they are sort of not going anywhere soon, Mixer.com, it's new. It hasn't got a big track record. It's not that new, but it's not as popular as say Facebook and stuff. You follow where you want to. That's why at the end of the day, if you just make a note of martinshine.com, if suddenly tomorrow, like Thomas Cook, the travel company, went out of business after tens and tens and tens of years, the oldest travel company in the world has just ceased trading in the last 24 hours. That wonderful, what was originally a UK company. Well, now they've finished, that's it. There's no communication between parties that used to have Thomas Cook as the common link, if you see what I mean. So in other words, if you want to just stick with Facebook and follow me on Facebook, if Facebook ever did go out of business, I'm not sure it's going to happen anytime soon, or change their name, that sort of thing, then you might suddenly lose track of me if I'm no longer on there because it's changed and all that, Whereas if you just remember martinshine.com or martinshine.live, there'll always be something there and a way to know how to continue following our journey here, you see. Unless you're a Zen master, Gandhi Japandi. What was that about? Stiff upper lip, says Gandhi Japandi. You've been taking those pills again, and swallowing them, and that you do get a stiff upper lip if you're not careful, and nothing else. Yes, they can suddenly malfunction. Don't agree with you. So sad we are just making it an issue. Yes, mental health is just giving people labels that make them believe there is something wrong with them. So wrong. Well, as I said, there's often something wrong with most people. Show me a person that doesn't have something wrong with them. Look how many celebrities, when you break them down, when you actually have a one-to-one chat with them, I often don't, and you often don't, but you read it when they've had that very frank interview after being out there for a while, they will tell you that they're not this magical person. They're just like you and I. And of course, that usually happens these days often when they're affected by bullying online because of social media. Just trying to remember who it was over the last couple of weeks. It was someone in, is it a group out there called Little Mix? and I think they won X Factor or something like that, or not Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or Japan's Got Talent, but I think it was X Factor. And one of their members, she has been bullied over recent months and everything. The fat one, she was referred to, blah blah blah. No excuse for bullying and that sort of stuff online, but she took it to heart. It affected her. She went into a depression, etc., etc. And funnily enough, you know what? There's a television show, a reality program called Love Island. Hello, Mary of London. Glad you could join us. I thought you'd be faster, Kip, now. I thought you were, and that's why you hadn't joined us earlier. But as I say, there was a reality show called Love Island, and Dr. Alex was on there last year, I think it was, 2018. I've got to say that in case someone's watching this in 2025, then it wouldn't be last year because that would be 2024. So yeah, and Dr. Alex, funny enough, he was on the TV this week saying how it's not enough just to ignore bullies online. Well, I've got to tell you, that is a huge thing. You've got to ignore people online, because I tell you why. I've told you this before, people. Told you my view, that is. I'm not telling you this is advice, and you can either take it or leave it or debate it with me. I'm never 100% right. I'm not necessarily right on this one, but it's worked so far for people that I've spoken with, and they agree in the main. Otherwise, they tell me here now and we'll discuss it. But if somebody online, people online are just looking for a response often, because they don't know how to have just a conversation and say hello. So instead, they'd rather ruffle your feathers, bully you, and hopefully get a reaction. That's what they're used to. Because they don't have the skills, those social skills, to just say, hello, how are you? What's going on here? So the point is, though, is that, and this is a really important point, I think, if I say so myself, you read something about you online or in the newspaper if you're famous, yeah? And it says, it's a nasty comment, you know, oh, look, that person, I saw him at the bar last night, they look really ugly, yeah, in real life, for example. Yeah. Now, if that person chooses to listen to that stuff and get upset, okay, you shouldn't, but if they do, they do. But the point is, if they didn't happen to pick up that newspaper, yeah, and didn't have that particular comment brought to their attention, and they were none the wiser, they wouldn't be upset. And my point there is that it might not be in the newspaper. There might be someone speaking about you or me right now in a really bad way down at the local bar, just having a chat one-to-one in person, two people, and they're entitled to do that. But because we don't know that conversation's going on, we don't get as upset about it. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. So in the same way, if it's in the newspaper and stuff, you know, whatever it is, if you can't handle the bad stuff, if you see your name in a headline, or just your name there, nothing else, don't read any further, just in case it is negative and you can't handle that stuff. Just saying. So there you go. That's all. I totally agree with you. So, blah, blah, blah. Hi all, Mary said ages ago. Are you mixed race then, Martin? No, I'm not mixed race. No, not at all. I just run sort of not fast and not slow when it comes to running. But interesting you should mention races. What made you choose autism as a topic? Oh, someone mentioned that earlier on in the chat that you've now joined there. Ace of Base. Ace of Base. Oh, All That She Wants. Goodness me, I remember that track. What a Freudian slip there. Ace of Spades 11. And I feel you need to build up a following in one place, otherwise it's confusing, said someone called Mary of London. Yes, Little Mix. Thank you very much, Brenda, for clarifying that. Hi, Mary, says Brenda. Hi again, Mary. I was lonely on Berry. Glad you are here. Mary, I do sort of understand your concern there to some degree, but you found us and the chat's here. The chat's there. Look, you can see what's going on. So it should be okay, Mary. Everyone's here. Mary's upset. What's happened there? You haven't had a bad day, have you, Mary? It's been really nasty in London, rain and all. But come on, Mary, cheer up. Maybe you need some sleep. Can I just remind you, everyone, that Mary, she's been awake since yesterday, so maybe that's why. It is now Tuesday, the 24th of September, 2019. Yeah, 2 minutes after midnight, almost 3 minutes local time here. Yeah, we've been broadcasting since yesterday, and we were late starting, Mary. We were definitely late because of a technical glitch. We were 11 minutes late. But I think we can be excused for that. Ace, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, because technology has made young people connect to social media, to meet people more, going out to meet people, it affects them the same way as if they were being bullied at work or school, because social media is made. Yeah, no, it's a very good point. It's a very, very good point there, Ace of Spades 11. But again, people have allowed this, and agreed, they've been taught directly or indirectly by their peers, by their parents, spending a lot of time these days on social media, because the parents of today grew up in a digital age now, when it, it was well in flow, so to speak. But that's why, if they're not teaching this as part of the regular and daily curriculum at school, then people should be taught this. Yeah. That number one, it's bullying, even though it's online, if nasty things are going on, but also that people shouldn't take words literally. Okay, because there's a lot of people out there that will write something, but they won't say it to your face. They won't even say it to you on the telephone. Yeah. So it's a hot topic. It's one that we could certainly pick up again sooner rather than later in the future. We'll definitely be doing it, because I'll be speaking to some guests as well about this, as well as yourselves, understand. But that is the thing. I think people, and I think there's a certain type of person out there, let's be frank here, there's a certain type of person out there that actually embraces the opportunity to literally take the words that have been written about them, negative words and bullying words. Some people will look at that, and I suppose that could be because maybe that's the only thing they can see about themselves online, and there's nothing positive to balance out that nasty comment. I'm not saying that the person, they've got nothing positive about them or nice about them that could be said. It's just that no one's bothered to write about that online, for example, you see. But again, it's all about believing in yourself as well. Because if you believe in yourself, again, you can't let other people, if someone affects you, it's because you've let them affect you emotionally. If someone upsets you, you've let them upset you. Now, sometimes it depends on the circumstances and the situation. But again, if you don't let the person, and sometimes you've got to be very strong to do that, and you need a lot of support around you from good friends when there's another friend or someone being nasty to you. But when you're reminded what a great person you are, no one can take that away from your thought process or from you. If you've done good, it doesn't matter. You might have done bad once in your life, for example, but if the rest is all good, then that one incident, if people keep reminding you about it, I think they need to jog on rather quickly. I think it's because I'm thinking of you building up a community on one place. Yeah, well, we started to do that on Periscope, Mary, and now that we can broadcast on various other platforms, we're there, testing the water on all of them, quite frankly. I do think YouTube is one that we need to stay on, yeah, because there's a certain person that goes out fishing for information and feeds on YouTube, and they just want to sit and watch. Yeah, they might want to join in, but some people they're looking for good stuff to watch, informative stuff that has value. And then Facebook is another one for communities, I would suggest, is a good one, yeah, without all the trolls that you receive on Periscope and Twitter, and yeah. So, but I understand what you're saying there, Mary. And going to think about things in the future, see what I did there, for those that are aware of what I've been saying recently, in the future, we will definitely be putting different titles at the beginning of our broadcasts as well. So you can look at it and go, no, that's not something that I want to be involved with right now. And I've got something else that I think is probably more important than getting into a discussion to do with, are the bananas in the UK bent too much, or are they too straight? Yeah, and they're not quite the right shape. I mentioned that for those that aren't aware. I mean, we're apparently exiting Europe very shortly, but that was one of the European Union rules and regulations. It was discussed and addressed by the politicians in Europe. Were our bananas up to standard? Something like that years ago. Anyway, parents need to get their children off their phones, laptops, consoles and computer and make them go play outside and make friends like our parents did when we were kids. Yeah, not only that, Ace of Spades 11, but parents shouldn't just make their children go out and blah, blah, blah. they should be a part of that. Yeah, parents need to spend more time with their children, and let me tell you, I know, as I say, that that could be very, very rewarding. Yeah, if a lot of parents, for whatever reason, from day one, from week one, from month one, that sort of time, from the early life of their son or daughter, they kind of straight away, it's a chore for them. Yeah, they've brought this new mortal into the world, but it's a chore for them to start giving back and educating them. Yeah, so wrong, but it's such a simple thing to do. And it's very rewarding. Again, it's like anything in life, when you're working, and then you're doing your artwork, or you're making a troll, like JJ Crawl was yesterday, showing us a photo of that, along with Mary and her. It wasn't a troll, was it? You can see why I slipped up there. It was a gnome, and I'd said it looked like a troll because it was bordering on a troll sort of looking thing, but it was much more happier than the average troll, I would say. Certainly was JJ Crawl's. That's Carola's gnome. And of course Mary of London showed us her gnome with an awesome soccer football hat on. And then along came Brenda, and her artwork was displayed as well. We had a quick look at the old artwork there from the Buckeye State, and that was all awesome stuff. So the chat's still going, but yeah, I mentioned that and I lost my train of thought, so forgive me. These things happen from time to time. Remind me why I was mentioning that, and then I'll continue. It's usually about the other person who's feeling bad about themselves. Making others miserable makes that person... Yeah, absolutely, Brenda. Yeah, there is a certain type of person, far too many out there, certainly in the workplace, as we've discussed before, that if they're not doing well, or if they think you're doing better than them, they'll try and put you down, bring you down. They'll talk behind your back to the boss and say, that Brenda Tupper, she's doing a right crap job today. You better keep your eyes on her. There might be a bit of a problem later on when we have to report our financial figures, and she's not pulling her weight, that sort of thing. Yeah, so it's totally right. It's totally out of order that sort of thing goes on, but you're correct that these sort of people exist. They'd rather put energy into pulling you down and putting you down rather than bettering themselves. Oh yes, how true that is, Brenda. Very sad. Some people may be alone in the sense they have or feel they have no one to turn to for support, and that may be why it will affect them more. We have all been in that situation at one time or another in our lives. Well, unless you have been really lucky to not be in that situation. So you can't say that you are letting others affect them. Well, yeah, Ace of Spades 11. Yes, there are some people that feel there's no one else out there. But number one, if all the people around you are negative, all right, and they are not persuading you or encouraging you to do something different to what you've been doing up to now, which is making you feel bad, then are they really your friends? Are they really the people you want around yourself on a daily basis, weekly basis, in general? There's plenty of people out here. All you got to do is get on social media, join certain groups, meetup.com. There are Facebook groups and other social activities happening all the time. It's not easy, no, but if everyone around you is negative, there are even professionals out there that were professional groups, yeah? And the point is, people think twice, oh, should I be ringing that number? Should I be speaking to that? Go speak to your doctor. Yeah, they're there for that as well. Because that otherwise leads to depression and sadness in one way or the other, and that can just lead to all sorts of very nasty stuff and lifestyles, etc., etc. Mary's gnome was awesome, absolutely. Wait till you see what I've got to show you tonight, though. Before I head out of here, I say tonight, it's this morning now. 11 minutes past the hour, everyone, as we broadcast live. Yes, 11 minutes past midnight, Tuesday the 24th of September. So for me, it's a very early morning, sort of late night Monday light early morning. And thanks, Bren, says Mayor of London. No, absolutely. Well, it's a fact. But I'm glad you're still here, people, because you're going to love what I'm about to share with you. And you're probably going to, well, Mary, I hope you've got a bottle next to the bed. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to get out and go to the bathroom when you see this today. Where are we? Brenda Tupper's monkey and eyes. Sometimes people talk about others and bullying others because it stops them sorting out their own issues. Yes, I get that one as well. Yeah, procrastination. Yeah, only too true. But you just got to nip things in the bud as quick as possible. And again, to motivate yourself, very, very difficult. Again, if people around you aren't encouraging you to get out of the rut. And some people, it's been going on for so many years and so long, it's the only way of life that they kind of know. But the ironic thing is, it's not brought them after sort of maybe a decade or two, you know, when you're 25, 30, listen, some people are 40 and they're still in this situation of not really having the life that they want around. Remember, you can always reinvent yourself. It's not easy, but you really can. You can just say to the people around you, not necessarily family, but certainly the people that are friends, that truthfully aren't friends, they might be misleading you. And, you know, when it comes to, say, smoking tobacco, were they your friends at school, those peers that you hung around and you thought, let me try one of those things? And you're like, wow, you know, 30 years later now, and you're 40 years old and you're stuck on these cigarettes because you know, what did curiosity do to the cat, right? And that person wasn't necessarily doing what a friend should do, encouraging you to become an addict, albeit on tobacco, yeah? All right, so just saying. I'm not saying people around them are negative. I'm saying that they may not feel that they can talk to people they know. Yeah, but again, I understand that. And it's up to people around you from as early as possible, from the earliest possible time that you know them, to make it clear to you that if you've ever got any problems, even if you've got something positive to say, achievements that you want to share with them, because everybody loves to tell other people, you know, when they've received a promotion at work or a few gold stars on the board, you know, and you're ahead of everyone else, that sort of thing, right? You know, even when you're 12 years old, when you're 8 years old and your parents give you a little scoreboard, you know, for tidying your bedroom, cleaning your shoes, eating all your food up, that stuff, yeah, it's very simple when you look at it like that, yeah, and it's not difficult to get on top of that way of thinking, yeah, because if you really want to do something, no matter what's going on around you, when you wake up tomorrow after you've had your next sleep, yeah, when you wake up after your next sleep, you can be a completely different person if you want to be. And no one should stop you. No one should make you think that you shouldn't change because you'll be letting them down. If you need to change, you effing well change. I did say that. Are you some sort of social worker? Oh, there's an irony there, if only you know. Another story, another day. No, I'm definitely not a social worker. I used to be a youth worker, a volunteer youth worker, but I was really involved practically with children in as much as being creative. We go back to the beginning of this broadcast, funny enough. And I used to do artwork, arts and crafts, and creative things with teenagers in a youth centre, and it was frigging good. It was good for them, and that was sort of part of my earliest achievements and sense of achievement, and what you would call, well, what do people call it these days, is basically job satisfaction, I would say. Only asking because the advice you are giving. Everyone wants to be better their life. Some just may not have the opportunities. Everyone has the opportunity. It's not easy. I mean, look at situations where people are in bad relationships. That's a prime example where totally understandably, and I'll use a woman as an example, that she's got to get out of that relationship, yeah? And then the only trouble is straight away she's thinking, well, where am I going to be tomorrow night? In the street? It's going to be raining, snowing, it's winter time. If you've got a family as well, what are you going to do? Leave them behind with the other person? So very difficult situation it can be. But again, there are people out there that can help. Yeah. and hopefully people don't leave these sort of things until it's really that bad and serious to deal with. We've gone off on such a tangent tonight, everyone, that I really have totally not forgotten about, but left behind. Look, a little schedule. I told you the other day, I do have some notes here, you know, things that we might want to touch on. So I'm going to just bring just tie it up and just say to you guys and girls that we're all here for each other. Some people on here don't mind getting the odd direct message as well. It's great for you to all interact. And if you want to pick topics in the future, not going forward. Oh, that's aggravating me, that phrase, that saying, going forward. Something funny is happening here. Your voice is saying one thing and your lips are doing something else. Really? That's possibly the technology at the moment getting excited. That if you literally mean that, yeah, that happened the other day actually. But anyway, there we go. Right, who's still there, watching, listening? Is Mary falling? Mary, you've just been taking a back seat there, listening, have you? This has turned into London's biggest conversation. And the world, for that matter, because we're like, yes. And for those that aren't aware, that did used to be the name of a radio station. They've rebranded. They've got the three initials, 3 letters to their name since day one. But in the last couple of decades, they've been through a couple of changes, management and all. And so, yeah, technology is exciting. It absolutely is. Yes. Right. Well, for those that are still with us. Let me see. Hi, Mary. Oh, yeah, right, okay, yeah. 10 degrees, yeah, right, okay. Well, people are there, they're not saying things. Well, listen, everyone, if you want to say something, I'm going to give you something now. I'm going to give you a good reason to comment. But before we do, we had a message earlier from Nubs Peace. Nubs Peace on Twitter, and Nubs Peace wanted to know why the number 11 is always in the title. Keep watching and you'll understand why, Nubs Peace. Yeah, the number 11 is generally in the title of the broadcasts, and we often talk about the number 11 and 22. Oh yes, excellent numbers. Mary's popped up again, has she now? Well, speaking of things popping up, everyone, I don't want to alarm you, but we'll just get to the point now, literally. But I happen to be on my computer today, and this was brought to my attention, and I'd like to know what it's a picture of. In your own words, please, everyone. I mean, fascinating stuff, I know, but I'm sure you have some sort of, well, comment to make. But do help me out here, help the others out there. I really can't comment any further other than show you the image that was brought to my attention, that had been posted on, as you can see, the Instagram platform. And yeah, what are your thoughts? I mean, really, you could be totally confused with something like that. Yeah, just saying, yes. Oh dear. First in there, oh my God, I've got a picture of a Ace of Spades 11. That was really what I was questioning before you make such a typo. I wanted someone to just confirm with us if I was seeing things, if the person who had made a comment on that post on the actual platform on Instagram really was correct. Was it honestly? Are you making out what I'm making out from that? Are we sure it's the right way round? I'm pretty sure it's not. And I have to say that someone cat scratchy. Goodness me. Bet you're gonna looks like a yes, thank you, Brenda. Or Mary of London, if only there was a prize. If only there was a prize, I would suggest, even though she's heading for the Z's now, it's a dog, says Ace of Spades 11. I think you might be right. But in someone else's eyes, according to Solar Powered 23 on Instagram, yeah, there is a questionable look about this image of an apparent dog sitting, looking out the window. So yeah, I'm glad I shared that with you, and I'm glad everyone, you had the opportunity to make your own minds up. But yeah, oh yes, really, yes, Brenda's having a good old chuckle, and Right on. Excellent. Right. Good stuff, eh? Amazing what's out there, really. And you don't have to look far because it just hits your inbox when you're in the middle of work. And yeah, some people have obviously got too much time on their hands, but there you go. It's a dog looking out of the window. I think so, Ace of Spades 11. I do think so. By the way, have you been checking out your news feeds over the last few hours and couple of days, certainly over the weekend that's just gone, where is it Greta Thunberg? She was originally about 15 years old, a Scandinavian, Swedish national specifically, and she was sort of getting on her high horse, for want of better words, and doing her bit for global warming and how the environment was being trashed. And over the weekend, everyone was protesting around the world how we need to clean our act up and not trash the world as much. I don't know if you've been watching all that, but it was a bit mad, from the Pacific Islands all the way through to India and Europe, South Africa. I certainly noticed on the television, that springs to mind. Plenty of other parts of the African continent, and again in the North American continent and region as well. So I don't know if you were all onto that. How did you manage to make it pop up on the screen? I beg your pardon. Phallic dog, says Mary of London. Yeah, maybe that's his name. Hey, Phallic! Hey, Phallic! Walkies! Come along now, Phallic! Time... Yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Food time. Come on, Phallic. Here you go. Could be the next craze, the next fad, the latest name for your four-legged friend, your pooch. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, yes, I just realising what you actually meant. See, often Ace of Spades 11, people don't say what they mean. But you meant the picture. How did we display it on here? Which is just how we do. We're just good like that. You know that. I'm just very good like that when it comes to all this technology. You see, you know, you don't ask things like how's the chat on the screen, for example. Oh, I can see. Is there a bit of a delay again there? You know, look, there you go. That's on the screen now. How did we do that? Well, technology and a little bit of know-how. Asking made it. Yes, it pop up. Got me giggly because I thought it was a pen 15 at first. 101. Oh, it was a hands up position. LOL. That's a right. And we're not going for a. I'm not going to mention his name actually, because otherwise I end up slapping my forehead. What's that all about? Oh, you should have been watching previously. Just keep watching in the future, and regulars know. Listen, everyone. I am actually going now. I'm going once, going twice, going 3 times, and almost out of here. It's 26 minutes past the hour. Wowzers. That's mad. You see? We had to certainly go over a little bit from 11 minutes past the hour of midnight local time because we were a bit late starting. But I got such a busy day tomorrow, I should get out of here right now. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to thank you all for the support. I'm going to wish you all a good night if that's where you're heading now. Even a good afternoon, good day, good morning. I mean, after all, good morning could also mean that you're going to sleep. It doesn't have to be night time, because you could have worked a night shift and you arrive home after working 8 to 10 hours through the night, and it's now 9 o'clock or something a little later perhaps, but it's your bedtime technically because you're sleeping in the day. Goodness me, that reminds me of a few days yesteryear. I used to work night shifts. That was good, the night shift. That was very good. I used to find that working the night shift, I generally needed less sleep when I was sleeping the daylight hours for some strange reason. It did often catch up at the end of the week. I needed a real long sleep. But yeah, those were the days. Oh, you know what? It's time for you to say goodbye to one another. And I almost didn't give you the opportunity to do that, but there you are. Chat's back on the screen now. There, I think, which way am I looking? I think I'm looking to look at the chat. It's over there, isn't it? Is the chat over there? It is, yes. Oh my goodness me, that's weird, everyone, because I have to look in the opposite direction. This is just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. Right, I haven't mentioned the competition because nothing's changed there. Isn't that good? But if you want to win a prize, watch the previous broadcast. We are offering a prize or two. Yeah, only a couple of very, very small things. But if you want to be a winner, please watch the previous broadcast. I might even mention it in the next one. Still no winner. No. Good night, Martin. Have a great day. See what I did there. Do you know, I can't see Brenda. No, it's over my head, that one. I think have a great day, as in have a great day because it's past midnight local time, possibly. Is that what you mean? Good night. Lovely having a chat with you, Martin, and everyone else whom are watching. Yes, lovely to have everyone here, including yourself there, Ace of Spades 11. Hi, Martin. Scotty. Hang on a minute, everyone. Hold the thought. Scotty has just decided to join us, yeah, as we are about to say goodbye to everyone. I do note that Scotty's chat hasn't hit us yet on here on the on screen. So, as I was saying before, I think. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, Scotty. I don't know what it is, but the Periscope chat, everyone, it gives up after a while. So there we are. There's something to be sorted out there. I'm sort of giving up. I tell you what, hang on a second. Hi, Scotty, says Brenda. Right, indeed, hi, Scotty. Please watch the replay. We're out of here now. Hello to Jeff as well, whenever he decides to watch this, and everyone else. What can you win? I missed that part. You can win a little headphone splitter. And what else can you win? Oh, an eye sponge, an Apple eye sponge. Don't get too excited about those things. Watch the previous broadcast. It's at the end of the previous broadcast is the question, and it will tell you how to enter the competition. You've basically got to do that via Twitter. So there you go. Anyway, we haven't got any winners yet. The first person to tell me the correct answer will be a winner, and you've got to DM me on Twitter for that. Right, everyone, I is out of here. So until our next broadcast, which will probably be before 23 hours time, when I'm out and about. Yeah, later on today, because it's now Tuesday, 29 minutes past midnight. Ideal for me to finish at 29 minutes past the hour, because we love the number 29. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, by the way, glad I remembered, it's the autumn equinox was the, was our Monday, yeah? So the 23rd of September has completed for us here in England and Europe and Asia. It's completed, but it's still the autumn equinox for everyone over there in the North American Kanski continent. I'm excited about them. What is Brenda? You're always excited. And on that note, thanks, Mary. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Ace of Spades 11. Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, everyone else who I'm not going to mention. And until next time, we are all out of here. Mixer Love says, good for you. You keep enjoying Mixer. That's good stuff. That has been me. For those that are still wondering. And again, until next time, we're out of here, but we will be back in a few hours' time, probably when I'm out and about mobile. So for sure, whatever you're doing, try and join us when you receive a notification. And to do that, you'll have to follow us on Periscope and follow us on Twitter. Oh, and Dick's secretary is, oh my goodness, really? Listen, Mixer people, you'll have to watch the replay along with everyone else. There you are. You've all disappeared now. I'm disappearing too. So thanks for watching. Back in the future at some point soon.